Hey, what is going on, RoK Fam? It is your boy B and aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back giving you guys kind of our day 4.5 jumper prep update, just to kind of let you guys know how the project's going so far. What do some of the numbers look like, right? What are some of the things that we're focusing on that kind of need to also be done, right? So this will kind of also be, I hope, a good really guide slash introduction to people who are looking to start jumpers or even projects, and really just kind of needing to know what some of the important pieces are that you need to focus on. So again, without further ado, before we jump in, of course, make sure you guys sub, like, ring the notification bell, and if you want to join to be a part of our conversation, hit up our Discord. You can find that in the pinned comment and description down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and now transition a little bit here to our Discord, right? So we're going to take a look here, and I'll just show you, right, a little bit here where we're at. So like I said, we're at about day 4.5. It will be there soon. And right now we have, let me do some counting, 13. Let's say we got about 113. Oh God, I can't count, right? That says 94, 10, 104. Oh no, sorry, 107. I can count. So we're at about 107 right now. And this is just about 4.5 days. Now, usually when you are announcing your jump project, right? And I'll just kind of use the RoK Discord here just as an example. Right, so you can see here, one, I think it's good that as you go along in your project, it's important to, one, I think, kind of give status updates. And you can see here, like, one of the things that I usually update is my size, right? Obviously creation date kind of once we have that figured out, but for the most part, I think updating kind of your size for how big you are, maybe, like, what's your goal? If your goal is 300, maybe you're 106 out of 300, right? Something like that, that just can kind of give people a status update to a degree when they're reading the ad or if they ever see it again. I think the next big thing here that comes down is I'm just a big fan of simple is better. I just don't think that ads necessarily need to be extremely flashy, so to speak. I think that if you're using an infograph, that's great, right? If you're just going to use something kind of like what this is, right, where it's an infograph that I would consider just an image, right, with text on it, that's fine. But I think the important part here is also add an area that they can easy copy paste. And an example of that would be here, right? Like, again, you can see my personal Discord, right? This is an easy copy paste, right? I can't copy and paste anything on here. So that's just something to keep in mind, right? I think images can kind of serve their purpose, but you kind of have to, I think, kind of go one of two ways. I think if you try to double dip and you want like a strong ad, but you're also going to add an image onto that as well. Personally, I just kind of feel like you're giving people a little bit too much, right? Like, you can kind of choose, just kind of go with a text-based ad, or if you kind of go with the image, then, right, just add a little text. If you go with the text-based ad, maybe you incorporate like a GIF or something, right? Like, kind of like a recruitment GIF. But if you're going to go, like I said, with the image, then at least put some text here on context that people can copy paste. With that being said, let us head back. And Fiend giving us some GG, so shout out to Fiend here, thanks. But some of the things that, like, for example, if you ask me, what am I doing right now, right, on this day 4.5? Well, I would tell you I'm just constantly recruiting, right? So for the most part, everything that I'm doing on a daily basis is recruiting, right? Whether it's, posting ads, looking for players, if it's messaging, people on my friends list that might be interested, if it's asking other people that want to help out, kind of, in, like, if you look at our section, right, kind of our help recruit section, right, these are things that, I'm consistently doing. We're also doing things like, for example, if I go to jump positions, right, where we have applications that are open, right, I'll kind of check these on a daily basis. I don't think that we've checked them yet. I know I've told some people that I'm definitely going to try to get to them, but I'm hoping that I'll actually have some time to check these maybe tomorrow or the day of, depending on when this video is released. But these are things that you'll check, right? So you'll kind of check to see, who's new that's applied, right? You'll kind of document them, whether it's on a spreadsheet or something, where maybe you'll take them through an interview process, depending on kind of how you guys operate. But these things are important that I do. Right, so we'll kind of go off that. I'll check, obviously, and get caught up in jump chat, which is kind of our priority chat. and I'll just kind of read through, right, see if there was anything that was missed, right? Did someone get a question answered? Was there clarification that was provided? Do I know the answer? Do I need to go and find the answer? Right, these are things that I think are very important, right? Do we need to post an announcement? Right, do we need to help like get people tagged over? Because sometimes, at least from my Discord, right, some people might just post here in general. So these are just things to look out for, right? That you kind of have to think about, because for the majority, really, you're mainly just recruiting, like nonstop. That's what you should be doing, right? As players, I should say, as a player joining a gem, one of the things you can be doing is just bringing yourself up to speed, right? Being aware of resources, materials, videos, text that you can study up on, so that way you can be in a better position. Ask the questions, right? Attend town halls if they do those, right? In an example here, right, we have our resources channel. You could see here, I kind of have like my full jumper walkthrough video, right? There's links here for events, museum artifacts, equipment bundles, right? Commander pairings, talents, right? Other good resources as well that we have. And then, I just think it's important. Like, one of the things I have on here is like my resume. I think that's really good, because you just want to show people, if you're leading, right? I think it's nice to have something that people can kind of attach themselves with. And I mean, I've even got questions about that, which is nice, right? We kind of have our project FAQ here, right, which is just essentially, if you notice that you get a lot of questions that are consistently asked, I think it can be really good to kind of put those in your FAQ, which is your frequently asked questions, no pun intended, and you'll be able to at least mitigate, right, some of the potential questions that you might get asked. But as I said, right, players are really just chilling, brushing up on information, asking questions, hanging out, getting to know one another. And if you're someone in leadership or members of leadership, for the most part, you really should just be nonstop recruiting, right? Whether that's in-game, out-of-game, in kind of any and all ways that you can think of, I think is really important. One of the things I do want to do, though, towards the end of this video, is I do want to give a shout out to the Jumper community server. So if you're not a part of this, I'll actually, if I can find the link, I'm going to try to put a link to this in the description of this video. If you're someone, again, after I joined and kind of just read up on a lot of the information, they have a lot of great information there, a lot of stuff, not only for jump project prep, but as far as like good resources, good material, but they also have a lot of material on here that is like past, after you kind of get stabilized, going into KVK 1, 2, 3, and then SOC. So again, right, if you're someone who's looking to kind of, even if you're just a new player, right, this could be a great resource. If you're someone who's looking to be an officer or leader of an alliance and jump project, great resource. If you're looking for someone who's going to be managing the project and leading the project, great resource, right? Or even if you're just looking on getting information to maybe eventually start your own project, right, which kind of falls in a similar umbrella, but still great resource. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. That, I think, probably does it for me here on how we're doing day 4. Like I said, I think the numbers that we have so far are pretty good. And see, people are already yelling at me right now, right, waiting for the announcement, because I told people I was going to be giving them an announcement today, which after this video, I will be putting an announcement out. But it is something that I think is, like all the things that you hear me talk about, I think are very important. I think it's good just to kind of be in touch and in tune, as a lot of projects, for the most part, right, can kind of be defined as, how well they did, right, in their own kind of successes and failures. And there's gray area there too as well, that goes into that. You probably will not often hear me talk about how projects are extreme successes or extreme failures, just because I think there are sometimes, I think context is very important, right? You kind of have to know what the situation is before you can kind of comment on it. And far too often do I usually see players just kind of throw out the blatant shade sometimes when projects just do not kind of meet what their goals were, and they're just kind of put into this blank label of failure when it's really not the case. Right, again, if they only had looked into it a little bit more. But with that being said, that is pretty much it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to, hear what your thoughts are, right, on kind of what, how your kind of day 4, day 5 experiences has been going, whether you're part of our project, if you're in another project, right, what do you kind of notice is happening on your day 4, day 5, right, if you're someone who is or has ever been in charge of a project as a leader officer, right? What are some areas that you think management can be contributing in, right, and really supporting and doing for the group, right, going into day 4 and 5. Would love to hear any stories and experiences from others as well outside of my own. That is it for me, of course, and until next time, as always, I will catch y'all later.